This is the Tennis Warehouse racket review of the Solinco Blackout 300 Extended. Solinco extends their highly successful initial racket line with a new Blackout 300 Extended. Boasting an extra ½ inch of length for added stability and plow-through, the racket features all the same technologies as the standard model, including 40T carbon fiber material and liquid crystal technology to produce a solid yet responsive and comfortable feel on every swing. It also offers a customizable experience thanks to the addition of the weighted butt caps. I was really excited to get on the playtest of this extended length Blackout 300 as I playtested the standard model a couple months ago. The first thing I wanted to mention was that it took about a 1 to 2 hour adjustment period for me to get used to the extended length. Now this is pretty common for every extended length racket I hit with, just to get my timing down, especially on my backhand side. One of the first things I noticed after getting dialed in was that I actually got a little bit less of a flighty response as I did with the standard model. That was my knock on the standard model. And for this one, I felt like I only had it a couple times throughout the play test. Now I will note that I also kind of changed my game a little bit with this racket. I adapted a less is more strategy, which meant I was using smaller, more compact swings and really letting the racket do the work. And that was when I was having the most success with this racket. My two highlights of the racket was the stability and the plow through. I really loved it on my slice. And when I could get the racket head speed going, I was really able to produce a really powerful shot. Overall, I preferred this racket playing doubles over singles as I could be really aggressive with it. Unfortunately, it's just a little bit too much of a racket for me to play on a consistent basis.
I felt like this extended version enhanced the main characteristics of the standard Blackout. Now this is a really powerful racket. I felt like it was so much so that I had to dial back my swing a little bit. I felt like I couldn't really go all out and attack a ball. But when I did though, I was able to get tons of pace on my shots. So I felt like this racket really enhanced my ability to hit winners, but it also enhanced my ability to hit more unforced errors. The one area I really enjoyed this racket and I actually preferred it over the standard was on serve. I just felt like I was able to get a ton of pace on my shots and I didn't feel like I was sacrificing a lot of control while doing so. My biggest downside for this racket is just that higher swing weight. It's much higher than I'm used to. It's much higher than the standard Blackout. And so because of that, I felt like I was a little sluggish on my ground strokes. I felt like I was late on my balls at times. And it's just actually making this racket a little bit more powerful than I would have liked. But I think if you're a player that's looking to really add a ton of firepower to your game, then this is definitely one to check out.
I was on the playtest for the standard length Blackout 300, and oftentimes when you add a little bit of length to the racket, it just gets even more powerful. And whereas I found that the standard length was powerful, this one was even more so. For me, I found loads of power, not quite as much spin. I found the standard length to offer a lot more spin, but this one, because of that higher swing weight, I was having troubles generating the necessary racket head speed to add some top spin, especially when I was trying to hit cross court. A lot of those would go wide. I just wasn't getting the sharp angles that I was finding with the standard length version. At net, again, this is just a little bit long for me, so at net I did again prefer the standard length version just because it maneuvered a little bit more easily. However, this one did feel nice and stable and very powerful. Like Jason, I did enjoy this on serve. I really needed to make sure that I was keeping my racket head speed up and using good technique, but when I was finding the box, I was really pleased with the amount of power I was getting on my serve. More powerful and definitely more offensive than I typically would see. Overall, for me and my swing speed, I think that the 300 standard is a better fit for my game, but if you're looking for added stability, plow through, and power, the extended length is a way to go.
Had a fun time out on court with this extended version of the 300 Blackout. It really made a big difference, I thought, especially on my backhand slice. It was really floaty with the standard length version, and with this longer lever in my hand, I was able to really drive that slice backhand. I like just flicking my wrist. I could go down line or cross court at the last second, just by how I brought my wrist and racket head through the ball there, and it hit a much lower, more penetrating shot. On my ground strokes, in general, I found a abbreviated backswing to work better just because there's a lot of power here. And I also found myself wanting to take the ball early on the rise. So I was playing more on the baseline or just inside of it. using a really compressed backswing and just making contact and following through and having really good success with that. I was getting some nice angles, getting plenty of spin, and the racket provides so much power that I was able to really just come through the ball and really get it penetrating the court nicely in that regard. On serve, it's one of my favorite rackets to serve with. They're hitting big serves with it, super maneuverable, so I get good spin, good pace, which gave me good variety on my serves. Volleys, no issues there either. I was able to punch volleys away. It's pretty clean, what we call a very crisp and point and shoot kind of racket, and just enough feel in it for me to place my touch volleys and easy access to spin so I could get onto die quickly. So fun play test for me.
We strung up the Blackout 300 Extended with Solinco Hyper G at around 53 pounds. For more information on this racket or any others, please check us out at Tennis Warehouse, Tennis Warehouse Europe, or Tennis Only.